What is going on, you guys? It is Unsweetened Tea here, back again with another video. And today, don't exactly have the energy to give a really great intro with a lot of force and with a lot of power and happiness behind it, because I'm just not really there today. And I guess that's okay. Everybody has their days, and I've never made a serious video on this channel addressing controversial topics, so to speak. I tend not to want to stir the pot. I kind of want to keep it like a clean gaming channel, but sometimes you just have things in your mind and you want to talk, and I think you guys would understand where I'm coming from when I explain things a little bit, and maybe you can relate, and maybe if you're feeling a little down, you know, I can relate with you. And you know, maybe if you're feeling a little down, then you know, somebody is right there with you. So today I just kind of wanted to talk about depression and video games and how the two kind of went hand in hand in my life growing up. My parents split up at a pretty young age, and I was never really deprived of a good childhood. I always had a roof over my head, and I always had food, and I always did have games and stuff. Not very many, but I did have it, and I had what I needed. But I just... As I got older, I got sadder. I would say at about 12 to 13, right when I started to hit puberty, is just when things started to suck. And I know that's like a similar statement that like everybody shares, but I mean, it really sucked for me. Growing up when I was younger, I want to say like between like 5 and 10, like in that time frame, honestly, I was never more confident in my life than when I was a kid. I talked to everybody. I let my opinions be known. I loved to dress up. I had fun. I wanted to be in movies and stuff, and I liked people, and I liked going out. And I mean, I was more of a fun person as a child than, you know, as an adult. And so middle school comes and goes, and middle school, like I said, about 13 years old, was the worst experience of my life. I have never had a crappier 2 years. I wanted to die almost every single day. It was horrible. I faked a freaking illness to get out of school for a semester, and I ended up getting that illness. Really strange story, but anyway, I hated middle school. And this was the thing, I didn't have any friends, like, at all. I moved, and then after I moved, I walled myself off, and I didn't talk to anybody. So from about 13 to like 15, those couple years, you know, going through middle school and getting into high school, I didn't have anybody to talk to necessarily. The only friends I had were, I'm not joking, were on YouTube and on Xbox Live. I've been on YouTube for 12 years. I just only had this account for a couple years. I wanted to start new, but my friends were made on YouTube, and I talked to them on Xbox Live and Skype. That is what we did. We would play co-op games together. We would buy each other digital codes and, you know, send them to each other. We'd send each other games and stuff, and you know, just throughout the year. And my friends online didn't talk to many other people also at that time. And we kind of got together because we needed to be at that time. And our common denominator between all three of us was that we all really were into video games. We might have been a lot on the social outcast side, but we certainly knew our things digitally, and we became really good friends, and to this day I still talk to these guys 12 years later. But I was so depressed, I did not want to leave the house. I hardly wanted to eat. All I really wanted to do was just kind of sit there in bed, stare at the ceiling, play games a little bit. At my most depressed, I did stop playing video games. And in high school, I kind of stopped playing video games. I wasn't as depressed in high school as time went on. But what happened was I kind of hung out with the wrong crowd, and I was doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And I really stopped playing video games a lot, you know. And then I went to college. And then when I went to college, I didn't bring any of my video games with me. When I was getting ready to go to college, that's when the new generation, the PS4 and Xbox One, were just starting to come out, and I didn't buy one. I said, "This is it. I've grown up. I'm skipping this generation. I would much rather go out and maybe say get drunk or something than stay in and talk to my buddies on Xbox Live and play a game. It just seemed like, oh, I'm a grown up now, you know, I don't need to do this. But in reality, when I got to college and I didn't play my video games and I was depressed, I turned to things that I should, like I said, you know, alcohol was a really big thing for me, and it's not something I thought I would talk about on this channel. I drank a lot of things that were not unsweetened tea, shall we say, and when I made this channel when I was in college, and I was so down in the dumps and depressed. I woke up one morning after, like, I mean, I was binge drinking so bad, and I woke up with just the most massive headache when the sun hit the, you know, the window that morning. When I woke up, my first thought was buy a camera, which was weird. I don't know. It was the first thing that popped into my head. And I hadn't made YouTube videos in probably 5 years, like half a decade. It'd been a long time since I've been on the channel. So I decided, you know, I'll make one. And at that time, I was drinking a lot, and I, you know, made the channel Unsweetened Tea. I thought that was a funny name. I like unsweetened tea as far as, you know,
Are you excited
alcoholic beverages are concerned. And I thought it was a hilarious title. And, you know, I made my original intro, if you go back and look, is that like piano kind of jazz sound with me pouring the unsweetened tea in the like whiskey looking glass, you know, in the tumbler and whatnot. And that was kind of like, and I was pissed off when I made the channel. And that's why I called it Unsweetened Tea, because I was going to be ranting. Actually, is what I wanted to do, was rant about how things just were making me so angry, you know.
I won't today. If I do,
I just wasn't in a good place, right? I was down. I wasn't doing anything to help myself. I was eating like trash. I was drinking booze like it was nobody's business. Smoking cigarettes like a chimney. You know, it just was not. It wasn't good. It wasn't me either. You know, and I
take advantage of your weekend.
I hadn't talked to my friends on YouTube. You know, my buddies that I made. You know, for the last 12 years, we had a falling out for like 3 years where we didn't talk like at all. And I remember when I did talk to one of my friends, I remember buying some whiskey that day. I mean, and I don't remember how the conversation went, like, at all. I hadn't talked to him in 3 years, and then here I was getting punch drunk, falling asleep, you know, on Skype talking, you know, and that stems from depression. Depression is no joke. It sucks. This is a sweeping generalization here, but I would venture a guess as to say, if you're playing video games extensively and a lot, and most of your friends are online, you might have depression. That's all I'm gonna say. Because video games when I was a kid was a vice for me, and then when I became an adult, I turned, you know, to cigarettes and alcohol. And today, I mean, I haven't drank in a long time. It's been a while, and I was super duper close today, and that's kind of why I grabbed the controller. And that's kind of why I made this video. I decided to play The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is what it's called. I remember seeing the E3 trailer, and I cried when I watched it. It was a very emotional trailer. You know, when the dad talks about his drinking, and when the kid talks about it with him. And I don't know. Something just really struck close today, and I really wanted to play this game and make this video and kind of talk about this. I know it's, you know, kind of rambly, but... So I've only been, like, officially, like, diagnosed with depression for 3 years now, but obviously it stems long before that. I mean, long before that. Even before I really knew what was going on with me, I didn't really know why I was so, above all things, cynical, and I still am. I just don't really show it on my YouTube. Everybody has a face that they portray. But I was just so bitter, so cynical. I thought the whole world was out to get me. I thought not one person had a decent intention. I really felt like I was suffering through a quarter-life crisis. Really, you know, at this point, you know, I'm in my mid-20s, and I'm not professionally established yet, and I don't exactly know where things are going. And when I was younger, it was even worse. And I don't know. Today was just one of those days, guys. I just wanted to talk about the things that have been affecting me. Like I said, if I didn't grab this game and grab the microphone, I would have been like knee-deep in some liquid encouragement, because I can't take this today. I feel like I'm going crazy, And you guys support me without even knowing it. I read every single comment. I'm sure you guys know that. I like all your comments. I give them a heart. You know, I give them a thumbs up. If you took the time out of your day to watch and comment, then that's all I could ask for. You know, if you guys notice, I don't ask you guys to subscribe. I don't ask you to hit the like button, but you do.
Maybe the kids who
And
lived here before didn't like it.
you know, you guys don't go unforgotten. Believe me. Wouldn't be if it wasn't for you guys. So I just kind of want to get my haphazard thoughts out there. If anybody else is going through the same thing, you're not alone. It gets better, and then it'll get worse again. And then it'll get better, and then it'll get probably even worse than it has been for you ever. It's just an ebb and tide. It's a flow. It's a roller coaster. It's life, I guess.
Sad. You used to be a good enemy. Look
Anyway,
at you
guys,
now.
thanks for
How are you
watching.
supposed to train me to
Thanks for
fight
taking the
me
time out of your
into it
day for
like that?
watching.
What can we
Take
do?
care, and keep your fingers crossed for happy gaming. Bye.